I hope, can you see my, no, I just, thank you. So now you're supposed to see the text about the scholars libraries and the scientific libraries. I hope it works.
Correct.
I'm sorry, just have to put it down. Perfect. Yes, it is actually the third great project we have about the book Provenance, actually run by the National Museum. In the first project, we were alone, cooperating only with one other institution, which was actually originally part of the National Museum, but was cut off in the 1960s. So the National Museum split in 1960s, and in the first project, we were actually we have carried out the research in those two institutions. In the second big project, which ran through the years 2018 to 2022, we were cooperating already with two other institutions, with the National Museum, with the National Library, and with the National Monument Institution, which is basically, it is something like the National Trust in Great Britain. It takes care about the castles and stuff like that. And the last project we have now, which started last year and will last till the year 2027, we are cooperating with 4 other institutions. So there is in this consortium, there is a National Museum, National Library, National Monument Institute, the Library of the Academy of Sciences, and the Museum of Art in Moravia, which takes care about an important monastery library. Well, actually, the Archbishop Library in Moravia. So those are 5 legal participants. Then we have 2 more which couldn't get into the consortium because the number of the participants was limited on 5. But we are cooperating also with the National Library of Moravia and with the Scientific Library in Olomouc, which is also the Moravian Library. So basically we are 7, and every library has its own special branch how to approach the problem of the scientific and scholars libraries. And what connects us is the database of book owners, Provenio, I've talked many times before about. And this is the database where every single participant contributes with its records. So where the new records of the book owners are sent, are uploaded. So basically, we have focused on the libraries, not only of the scientists and of the scholars, starting from the late medieval and ending with modern time, but also on the scientific literature in the libraries of laiks, so to say. So in the libraries of the people who weren't professionally and vocationally occupied with the science. So the people who just bought the books because they were interested in the scientific discipline, but it wasn't their profession. So what we are basically interested in are the records, the proofs, evidences of the work with the book in the environment of the scientists. So in in the scientific society, so in the Republic of Letters, and also we are interested in the way how the scientific books were treated by the non-scientists, so to say. So that's the main point of this research, and its results we publish on one side through the database Provenance I've already mentioned, and through the exhibitions which are accompanied by the catalogs. And so we have started this year with the first exhibition. Actually, I can show you the result of it. Was the medical literature in the castle libraries of the Czech Republic. It ended actually. It ended a month ago, as you can see, in the beginning of September, and it was located in one of the castles. So visited through the summertime. I can show you a couple of pictures. It wasn't big, but as far as we have information from the people who worked in the castle, it was richly visited, and the people gave a positive comments on the exhibition. And in the meantime, I myself am working on the exhibition about the beginnings of the scientific literature in the Czech libraries, both the bourgeois libraries as well as the aristocratic libraries and the libraries of the scientists. Basically, I'm focused on the books again, which contain the comments, which contain handwritten remarks made by the owners, and which are somehow interpreting the content of the books. If you are interested, unfortunately, the catalog is in Czech, so it is, as for the language, it is not so well accessible. However, we have all our publications we have in our web page. If you click on publications, then you will find the complete catalog, which you can download and go through. It is our point of view. At the same time, the National Library is preparing another exhibition, which is focused on the astronomical literature in the fonts of the National Library and the other cooperating institutions. And as let's say an experiment in the research of the libraries, all the participating institutions are preparing short movies on the topics of the scientific libraries. So we are preparing a movie about the libraries of natural scientists which are preserved in our collections, and which can be actually commented not only by their comments, but which can be enriched with the exhibits they bequeathed to the National Museum. So we have the libraries of the entomologists with the collection of the bugs and the beetles. And then we have a collection, then we have a library of a paleontologist together with the petrified trilobites and petrified animals and so on, which I find actually very important. If you make an exhibition about the books, you have to find the three-dimensional exhibits to enrich it. Otherwise, it is getting a bit boring, you know, if you have only the books with the handwritten remarks. So we have enriched our web page with a new part. I will switch on the English version again, which is scientists and scholars libraries and scientific literature in libraries. Here you have it's a sort of portal with a short characteristics of each sort of scientific libraries, and if you click on the heading, then you get into the subject subject authority, which works as a cumulative place where the relevant libraries of the relevant book owners are aggregated, as you can see. So now then you can click on any library. Here we have the lawyers' libraries. Here I don't have the text translated yet, because this is the record which is made in Mark 21. We have already succeeded in translating the information in the personal authorities. There we have already solved the way how to switch to English and to German if you switch the language of the whole system, but we didn't make those changes in the subject authorities yet. So that's why you can see it only in Czech. But the same text is actually in the web page you have. I've just shown you. So here you can click on a book owner, Balos Wilhelm Alexander, with a short description of his library, of his life, and his provenance records, together with the photos of his provenance marks, in this case the book plates, as you can see. Well, another important thing we have just solved, it doesn't work yet because it is just being applied to the database, is the way how to aggregate the relevant book records, the bibliographical records, and the authority record of the book owner. So how to get the books he owned, not only from the National Museum, it is quite easy, but also from the other libraries. So basically we will work with the Z3950 server, which will download all the relevant records from the other libraries. But unfortunately, the Z3950 is not able to make difference between the records where the name of the person is mentioned in the role of author and in the role of the book owner. So first we have to download all the records which contain the name whatsoever is the role of this man, and then in our system another search actually will be made, and only the books where the name of the book owner is mentioned in the role of former owner, this FMO role in the subfield 4. So we hope that this way we will be able to aggregate, to cumulate actually the books of the scattered libraries in the different libraries of one book owner under one record. That's what we were striving for also during the previous projects, and it was incredibly difficult. Actually, we thought that if we are working with the authorities, it should be possible to connect them with the records from the other libraries, and it shouldn't be no big deal. But the reality was completely different, and we are actually glad that we could achieve at least this compromise, because it is compromise. It is not what we hoped for exactly, but it is, let's say, the first step on our way. Another thing which should be soon visible in our map of provenances. Unfortunately, in the meantime, as you can see, not all the libraries are visible, because the company which is providing the system for our library system is making some changes. Well, in the morning there were 400 of them. Now there is 50 of them. So I'm afraid I can't change I can't solve the problem right now. But soon, as we were promised, at least, it will be possible to make difference between the libraries, of the scholars and the other libraries. So the libraries which will contain in a 386 field one of the subject authority of the scholars, like of the scientific libraries, will be displayed in the red color. We thought first that we will make a difference, or we will mark the different scientific libraries with the different colors. But later we have actually left this goal, because it would be too confusing to have such a colored map. So we will have two colors, black and red, and the red icons will show the libraries of the scientists, or the scientific libraries. So here you can see an example of a record of a scientist, of a scientific library. The book owner, Karel Slavoj Amerling, from the 19th century. He was one of the last, actually, Renaissance men of actually generally educated and active in almost all the fields of human knowledge, of contemporary human knowledge. And also here we have two records of two brothers, actually, who were active in a science, but in a different field, in a different scientific fields. Josef Thomayer was an important physician, medicine, and collected a library which, on one hand, contained all the contemporary important medical books, and on the other hand, an important collection of balletry. He collected the balletry also, and then later he divided this library into two parts, and his medical books he bequeathed to the National Library. In that time, University Library. It changed to the National Library later. In his times, it was still University Library. So that's why. And his collection of balletry he bequeathed to our library, to the National Museum Library. So now it is divided into two institutions. So that's why also we tried to find a way how to virtually connect the books together under one authority record, and not to download and not to upload the records into our database. We would like to be able to search for the new records in the instant when they are asked for. And this is the record of his brother, František Tomayer, who was a heartologist and a pomologist. So he occupied himself with the garden architecture and with the fruit trees. So here we have some of his works. So, for example, this is the so-called Chilakovského sad. This is the park which is around the building of the historical building of the National Museum, and actually the park where my window from my office leads to. So I sit somewhere here, and I'm looking into the park right now. So we still have a lot to do, and still have actually 3 years ahead. And we hope that in the end, we will be able to offer an overview of the most important scientific libraries, and in the Czech libraries, or at least in the libraries of the cooperating institutions. So that would be all from my side for today, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you.